What is up, gamers? It's Electrified DVD back with another video, and I have watched a lot of Pro Valorant. Hopefully you guys watched my video on why X10 Esports is way better than you guys are giving them credit for. And if you haven't, make sure to go check that out. But now I'm going to be ranking every team that is going to Masters Reykjavik at the end of the month. And this list is going to get, I feel like, a lot of people angry, and it could be very wrong. So I'd like to preface this. I have watched a lot of Pro Valorant. I think I know what I'm talking about. I hope, but anything can happen. In my eyes, any one of these teams could take this just because they're the best in their region. So, yeah, the most likely people to win are from NA or EU, but, you know, any of these teams, they're all good. So it's very hard for me to rank them. So just saying that. All right, let's start at number 10. The team I think is the worst going into this is Sharks from Brazil. I think the Brazilian teams are way overhyped. I watched a lot of the Sharks games and they looked really sloppy. They were missing shots. They didn't seem to clearly have a strategy they were going for. Brazil kind of just looks like an all-out free-for-all for whoever has the best aim and misses the least amount of shots wins. Now, all these players are way better than I'll ever be at the game, but when we're talking at a pro level, I don't think Sharks are going to be able to compete with many of these other teams. So that's just my opinion. Alright, moving on to number 9, I have NUTURN at number 9. And now everybody, I feel like people are thinking NUTURN might be better than they are. The reason I put them so low is if Vision Strikers is in this tournament, I put them at number 1. I'm not going to lie, I put them at number 1. NUTURN is at number 9 because just because they beat them does not mean that they're a better team than them. Because Vision Strikers played really sloppy that game. I watched it. NUTURN didn't really... They played well, but they didn't play absurdly well. Vision Strikers just played absurdly bad. So I don't think NUTURN's going to be able to keep up with the other top tier teams. Version 1. Earlier this week, I would have put Version 1 a lot higher on this list than they actually are. However, Whippy, their new player at the start of the Challengers Finals, is actually couldn't obtain a visa to get to Reykjavik, so will not be able to play, and they have a sub, Jamppi, who's a good player in his own right. However, that's not much time to prepare with the whole new team, and Whippy hard carried. And that's way over the top. But Whippy was an incredibly good player, and is still on the team, obviously, but just can't play in Reykjavik. So I think that's a huge blow for V1, and I don't expect much from them throughout this tournament. Obviously, it's definitely possible, but, you know, it's going to be pretty hard with a new player on the roster. Number 7, we have Vikings out of Brazil. And again, I think Brazil's a pretty sloppy region. When I was watching the games, I wasn't really that impressed. Vikings were by far the best team, and they stomped everybody. They stomped everybody in the Challengers Finals, but I wasn't really impressed. I wasn't impressed with the competition they had, and so I don't really think that they were that good of a team, and I don't think the teams from Brazil were that good. In general, I think they're way overhyped, and they have a lot of flashy duelist plays, but most of those plays are just one-man shows, and you kind of just have your fraggers doing everything. So I just... Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. Alright. At number 6, we have Crazy Raccoon. And here's where it gets really hard because I'm pretty confident in my lower ratings that those are fairly accurate. Here it gets iffy because all these 6 teams are incredibly good. I had to put Crazy Raccoon out of Japan. Now, I do want to put a disclaimer that I've watched Japan the least out of any of the regions. So I would like to put that out there, but Crazy Raccoon has been doing good. They've done really well in their region. They won Masters. They won Challenger Finals without dropping a game in Challenger Finals. They beat Absolute Jupiter, who is the powerhouse in their region back in the first Strike days. But I mean, again, I feel like it's just they're an aggressive team. But Japan leans a lot on the side of, and this is true with Crazy Raccoon too, they lean on the side of individual plays rather than teamwork and strategy. And I think that that's only going to get you so far. And against the best teams in the world, I don't think you're getting very far just relying on individual strength and individual prowess. So I don't think Crazy Raccoon is going to, like, they have very great players, they have great plays. I don't think they're going to be able to compete, though, with the teamwork that some of these other top-tier teams have. Number 5, I have Fnatic. You know, Fnatic's a really good team. They're from Europe. Obviously, they had to get through a lot. They had to get through the Turkish teams and all of Europe. But Fnatic, I don't know. They just... Europe was kind of like a very weird thing because Liquid came out of nowhere, kinda, and then just took the tournament. I don't think anyone really even expected them to make it to Challengers Finals, and now they're in Masters. Fnatic, too, wasn't necessarily an upset to be here, but nobody really expected these two teams to be there. And I don't know that they have necessarily the best past records. And Fnatic as a team, I'm not entirely impressed with their plays. They've had some sloppy things. I think that they could have a lot to improve on, but they're still a top tier team and could definitely win this. Moving on to number 4, we have X10 Esports. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking on them because I made a whole video on them. Again, most people would tell me I'm crazy for ranking them so high. Watch the video, see for yourself. Incredibly aggressive play style. They have some really nice individual plays. All the players are incredibly good. They have really good setups, and I just think that it's a very, very strong team. And I think everyone's going to be upset at me for this one. I'm putting Liquid at number 3. Liquid's a really good team. Most people are picking Liquid and Sentinels as their favorites. I'm putting Liquid at 3rd, and I'll explain why in a minute. Liquid is a good team. Again, like I said when I was talking about Fnatic, they kind of came out of nowhere. No one really expected them to be here. They didn't come out of nowhere, but I mean, so they're relatively new to this high stakes stuff. Actually, that's a lie. What I'm trying to say here is that Liquid as a team has been very lacking at some points. Take for an example the first game of the Challengers Finals against BBL. They got absolutely trashed. Their fraggers, their duelists were bottom fragging and things like that. If their fraggers aren't on point, if Scream isn't on point, I don't think... If Scream and Jampis aren't on point, I don't think Liquid can do well. But I think they are a really good team and definitely dangerous and could definitely be favorites in this tournament. Number 2, again, nobody's going to agree with me, but I'm putting Crew Esports at number 2. And the reason why is they play the game very interestingly. I put a lot of attention in the Latin American region. Crew Esports dominated Latin America South and then crushed Infinity Esports in the Challengers Finals from Latin America North. I believe that they're from Colombia, I think. Infinity Esports. But the Chilean team Crew they are incredible to watch. They ran maps without duelists. They put less of a pressure on duelists and take more of a slow approach to everything, but they work so cohesively with each other. They're a very good team. They have a clear strategy set up. They all have very great mechanical skill, and I think that the way they play is just going to be very difficult for a lot of these better teams to deal with and to handle. So I really think Crew Esports is going to be a very good contender in this Masters, but no one can agree with me. And then, of course, at number 1, we have Sentinels. My favorite team, personally. I don't think anybody can disagree that Sentinels is number 1 in the world. They've showed some weaknesses in the past. I love Sentinels. I hope they win. I would not be disappointed if they get upset by some of the teams that no one expects to win. But I do think that they are the best team. They have each player on the team has incredible abilities, has clutched many times before. They've proven time and time again that they are the kings of North America, and nobody is stopping them. And they're just an incredible team. They went into Masters 1 having Sinatra get not dropped from the roster, but he was suspended. He couldn't play because of the allegations, and having TenZ come in, and they didn't drop a map, I don't believe, through all of Masters 1. So I think that they are an incredibly dangerous team. I think that they're the clear favorite to win this tournament. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Sorry for a little bit of a long video, but I did want to kind of break down what I thought about each of these teams. And I hope you guys liked it. You feel free to leave your opinions in the comments. I know my list is a bit unorthodox. A lot of people would disagree with me. And so if you do, just let me know. Like, just tell me what you guys think. And yeah, thank you all so much. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, comment down below what you think. Again, check out the socials in the description. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.